Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to tell you a story. A story of a cook in a palace who was very tired, overworked and had no time to rest. Let's call him Agni. Now Agni was a cook in a palace which used to offer to the people in the palace constantly food. His job was to prepare and distribute. He was so overworked that before he could finish the first meal, the ingredients of the next meal were already ready in front of him. And he had no time to rest. And on top of that, the people in the palace would keep getting feasts, one after the other, even when their stomachs were full. Now this made Agni extremely tired. There were days he was so tired that by end of the day he would become sluggish and dull. Now there were other days as well. Some days when there was no food at all. So there would be no ingredients coming to Agni, because of which Agni could not prepare food. And if he could not prepare food, he could not distribute food. And hence it was becoming very, very erratic. Sometimes the palace was loaded with feasts, sometimes it would be long durations and the palace would not have any food to eat. Now this was making Agni extremely dull, sluggish and chaotic. His mind was in an utter chaos. Also the people in the palace were undergoing an utter chaos. Why is this happening? Sometimes too much of food and sometimes no food at all. Do you realize that this is exactly what happens to our bodies? In our body, sometimes we are getting so tempted to eat just because it is some tasty food in front of us. So even when we are not hungry, just because the food item is tasty, we'll end up eating. Or sometimes just because somebody offered something to us, we'll end up eating. We are not hungry, but because somebody said, I made something, why don't you taste it? It looks very tasty, it seems very tasty, so we'll end up eating. Apart from that, when we have a lot of processed food, packaged food in particular, what happens is that we gradually start getting addicted to that food, because these packaged food companies spend a lot of money to make sure that the food is extremely addictive to the person who has it. And because of such ingredients added into the food, it becomes dangerous for our body. Because we do not know that, we keep having it. No wonder when we have one piece of chips, we cannot stop at that. We want to have another, and then another, and then another, and the craving does not stop. So many a times, we are eating food because of our temptations. We are eating food because of our cravings. We are not always eating food because we are hungry. Taking the example of the cook of the palace, let me explain to you that this kitchen of the palace is our metabolism. And Agni is actually the enzymes and hormones. Now say for example, when you have some food, what rushes in is your insulin. Okay, so when there is insulin that is coming in, after some time you eat something more and insulin comes in again. Then you eat more, there is more insulin. Now what happens to your cells? After a point in time, your cells stop taking any insulin because they say, we are full, we cannot take any more insulin. And this situation is what is called insulin resistance. Today, more and more people, youngsters and even aged people, because of not eating mindfully and not knowing when and where to stop, are landing up into situations like insulin resistance. This further takes the shape of diabetes. Let's take the other example. This Agni also represents certain hormones like leptin. Now what does leptin do? The role of leptin is to make you realize that your stomach is full, you don't need to eat more. But because of these additives in the kind of food items we are having today, processed and ultra-processed packaged foods, we do not understand where to stop. It is so addictive that we keep craving for them. And when we keep craving for them, we are giving wrong signals to our own hormones. Our hormones are getting confused because we are telling them, even if you are telling us that we are full, I'm still going to eat more. Even if you're giving signals to my brain that I am full, I'm still going to take a little more. This leads to leptin resistance. Both of these issues, be it leptin resistance or insulin resistance, are not good for us. This situation is an invitation for a number of diseases that you may not even think of. Your body needs rest from digestion to be able to take care of detoxification. Your body can do only one thing at a time. It can either do digestion or it can do detoxification. So the entire day when it is only busy with digestion, it has no time for detoxification. Hence, it is important for us to keep a gap between our meals, for which it is important to set the timings of our meals. So if we have set that I will have lunch at around 1 or 1:30 every day, that is the time when your body will start showing up real hunger. It comes with practice. And eat at that regular time, because when you don't eat at that regular time is when you confuse your hormones. Between any two meals, it is necessary to have at least a 4-hour of a gap for the body to finish digestion before the next meal arrives. Number 2, listen to your signals. Listen to your hunger signals. If your brain is giving you a signal that your stomach is full, stop eating, how much ever tempting the food in front of you is. Third, avoid binge eating. Don't eat because you are tired. Don't eat because you have got emotional. Don't eat because you are angry. Don't eat because you are in a mental state where you're feeling fatigued. Eat when the hunger signal comes. And if it doesn't come, wait for it to come. It will come regularly if you give your body the training to eat regularly at a specified period of time with gap between the meals. And it won't come when you are continuously eating without a rhythm and mindlessly. And lastly, choose your balanced meal. Eat a meal that has fruits and vegetables throughout the day. Make sure you consume fruits and vegetables and proteins and carbs and fats. All of this together is going to nourish you. You cannot starve yourself of fats. It is important for your brain. It is important for every cell in your body. It is important for a number of functions. You cannot starve yourself from protein either. You cannot starve yourself from fiber either. You need all of this. Do you remember that in the olden days there was this concept of a thali, which means there was a roti and there was a sabzi and there was a dal and there was a chutney and there was a pickle homemade and there was some papad. All of this together was nourishing our body, because there is some nourishment that the seeds in the chutney had, or the green leafies in the chutney had, or the coconut in the chutney had. There was some nourishment that you were getting from the vegetables. There was some nourishment that you were getting the protein from your dals. There was some nourishment from the rice or the roti that you were eating. Each one of them is giving some importance. Each one of them has some importance, and hence diversity in our meals is important. Color on our plate is important. Tomorrow, in the coming years, our generations will not be starved of food, because food may still be in plenty. They will be starved of that diversity, because when there is no diversity in your meals is when you disturb the gut microbiome. Your gut microbiome has trillions of bacteria into it, and those bacteria thrive on diversity. Give that diversity, include that diversity in your meals. Go back to the recipes that your grandmothers and mothers made at home and incorporate them in your kitchen. This diversity will help you increase the gut microbiome and will help you eat mindfully. So the challenge is that you do not eat mindlessly, which means you do not do binge eating and you have regularity in the time when you eat. It is important for your gut microbiome, for your mind and overall energy levels. See you again. Namaste.